Okay, let's talk about communications now. For a lot of us, we have cell phones at our disposal. This is a regular cell phone, and this is like my fifth one I've had. They don't work very well in salt water, so you have to keep that in mind, as well as your location. Now, this particular cell phone, along with my plan, offers me the ability to talk in Canada as well. So that's one good thing about it. And it's you'll have to check with your various companies to see what meets your needs for this journey. They're nice and easy to have, that you can keep in contact with your family, relatives on shore. You can call medical aid or assistance readily, but you've got to remember these things don't work well in salt water. I've dropped these in salt water and they quit working immediately. It attacks the electronics in it, corrodes it, and they're no good within a short time that they've been dropped into the water, especially salt water. Another item that we use, this is a little family service radio, $19.99. Either Walmart, Kmart, has a range of 2 miles, works on 4 AAA batteries. The neat thing about this is that your support boat can have one, you can have one, you can talk on it all day. It's inexpensive to use. If you lose it, if you drop it in the water, it's no problem. They're fairly easy to replace. The frequencies are all the same. You leave it on one certain channel that you need to talk to with your support boat, and you can utilize it all day long if you want. This particular model came in a set of 4, and I've only got one now because I've dropped the others, or they've been exposed to saltwater conditions and have caused them to short out or not work at all. So again, these are great, but like the cell phones, you need to watch them around salt water because salt water corrodes all of the electronics on the inside. Which leads us up to a step higher than that, and that's the VHF marine band radios. These are two-way radios. The thing about these things is they have multiple channels, and they also have other items on it that none of these have. Number one, you can call Coast Guard with them. You can be in touch with Coast Guard for any emergencies that arise on the water. You can talk with them, and these particular radios are designed, because they're marine radios, designed to take the salt water around them, the environment, and if you happen to drop one in the water, it's still going to work. It'll still work. This one was dropped in a boat that we were using, and even today it still works. So these radios are just as important. Which one to pick is up to you. Do not depend upon your cell phone as your main source of communications because of your location, the availability of towers in which to communicate, and the conditions that are out there. So if you need to, do not depend upon your cell phone. Rather, depend upon a good family service radio, whether it be inexpensive, such as I have here, or you could go and you could buy the $79 ones, which have a 15-mile radius, or you could go to the portable marine radios that are able to sustain the conditions that you're going to find on the salt water. Here I have a particular model that I'm going to talk a little bit about and what its capabilities are. This particular model has batteries, disposable batteries that you can put into it. When they run down, merely dispose of them according to local regulations and install new fresh batteries to keep this radio going. It has an antenna. It has a crystal display screen on there where you can see a number of things. It has a on and off switch and volume control in one. And when you turn it on, you may hear a little noise like this, which is a squelch. that's the sensitivity to the radio. And you'll need to adjust that if you hear that screeching noise. Once you've turned it down to where it disappears, then your radio is almost set to go. Now looking on the radio here, you will notice that number 16 shows in the screen here. Number 16 is the channel that everybody should be on for basic hailing and monitoring only. If you wish to speak to somebody on this channel, you'll have to call them by their vessel name, and once the vessel has acknowledged, you need to agree on a channel which to go to. Also on here, you will see a red dot here which shows 16 and 9. Of course, 16 is your general distress communication frequency. 9 is the alternate frequency for ports. So 16 is the one you should be on at all times to talk with one another and to identify a different channel which to go to. For further information on those channels, you're going to have to go into your book and read more about them. Also on here you have a scan, which you're going to have to enter the channels you would like to look into and scan. You also have a weather alert, which this particular model is set up to receive the local weather station out here and will alert you when weather conditions become severe, or when a weather alert is put out for boaters for boat conditions and weather conditions. You also have a little indication on here for 1 watt versus 5 watt. This is for the amount of power that this radio is transmitting on. On some channels, it is mandatory by law that you only transmit with 1 watt capability. That is why the switch is here. Changing to a different channel is by the up and down arrows, and you'll be able to put the frequency or the channel wherever you want by merely pressing the indicating buttons on here. On the side here, you'll see your push to talk button. Pushing it down will transmit, letting it go will allow you to receive. Again, for further information on how to utilize this radio, go to your owner's manual. Become familiar with it, because when you're out there in the middle of the night and you're cold, you're wet, this is going to be difficult.